What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I was a former student of the legendary Howard University. I enjoyed my time there. I lived at George Washington Carver Hall. And even at that time, the housing conditions were not the best in comparisons to, other schools that I've been to. You look at Sacramento State University. You look at some of the UC systems that are there. I went to Berkeley for a post-grad program. It was amazing, right? And despite having the money and a great alumni, especially that is still on the East Coast. There's a lot of students from Howard University that, this is the first time that I saw people who had generations of doctors and attorneys in their family. Before Atlanta, DC was the original chocolate city. You have so many people there in the Maryland area, in the DC area, Philadelphia, a lot of people in the educated East Coast. That it's just a affinity of talent and money there. Despite that, and despite being one of the only HBCUs that has an undergraduate campus, a thriving medical school, a dental school, a divinity school, a law school, an MBA program, business school, Howard University finds itself operating as a third world country, despite being overpriced. Now, I don't want to take a shot at anybody right now, but I was looking at some of the most expensive cities to live in the world. Monrovia, Liberia comes to mind. And Liberia is a great country, and I understand what's going on. But imagine living in Monrovia, Liberia, where the average apartment, depending on where you're at in some parts of the city, could be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, or $6,000. Not really access to high-speed internet. The amenities wouldn't be probably as great. And you compare that to some place like where I'm living in Poland. And this is the case not only there. Accra, Ghana was recently known as one of probably the most expensive city in West Africa. And yet your living conditions in comparisons to other places are not competitive. That's what Howard University is. It is extremely overpriced. Okay. And many times when we ask our black students, why are they going to predominantly white institutions and not coming to the Tuskegees anymore, the Alabama A&Ms anymore, the Florida A&Ms anymore? I'll tell you one of the reasons. It's because of up administration like this. Students typically get loans late. People in the administrative offices lose shit. And I know if you went to Texas Southern, Prairie View, A&M, schools like that, you understand what I'm talking about. And you pay a lot of extra money. You face a lot of times violence in the local campuses. People breaking into your shit, stealing your shit. All right. Pookies and Ray Rays being by there. So these students who have basically going to bankrupt their parents are now sleeping outside, protesting in that way, because there are 38 dorm rooms out of 2,700 dorm rooms with mold. These are living conditions in comparison to maybe somebody in Africa. Imagine here in Poland, where there is no $30,000 a year tuition, okay? The state pays for everything. You will not find here one place, I will guarantee you, that has mold. But these students are paying, according to the 2019-20, $27,000 a year for this fucking tuition. Living expenses more, and most of these kids are not rich. They're taking loans. So by the time they leave, that's $200,000 as an undergraduate. My medical school costs that here in Poland for MD. Okay? And administrators at HBCUs have dropped the ball. Corruption is the name of the game in these HBCUs. And then you wonder why we cannot keep our black talent. You wonder why these kids are going to University of Wisconsin. Black college trip? No, thank you. I won't go. Okay? Unless they're going to give me a full ride? No. One student, okay? A young lady, all right? Chandler Robinson. He hasn't been able to access Blackboard. Now, Blackboard's been around for a long time. I used to use Blackboard, okay? Blackboard is a teaching software, educational software that, you can access things online. And you get assignments and grades on Blackboard. He hasn't been able to connect his Wi-Fi for a month. Okay? Not only are the students tired, the faculty is tired. Okay? And students have accessed the Blackburn University Center, which I know that's where that's at. I've been there for a long time. Okay? And they're going to protest for the remainder until MOLDY is removed. But for the love of God, are we somewhere in the third world or fourth world? These are our best young students, and this is what they're being treated as. That's why nobody fucks with the HBCUs anymore. I'm sorry. Like, think about young women that are going, and let me just say this. There's a lot of young brothers, right? But what are these young women? Let me, and this is the manosphere. You guys know I don't really make content, for black women over here. What if you're a woman and you have needs? Okay? Some of these people have roommates. They're not rich. They're not living on apartments and shit, like I was. Close to, Florida Avenue or whatever. Some of these students are living with roommates. You have young women in here. Already dangerous as it is in that city. And you're a woman, you're dealing with mold. You can't shower. You can't, you feel unsafe. Okay? You're out there without any help. I mean, the girls must be fucking terrified. Water damage and air filters are expired. And you're telling me that you want to help the black youth of tomorrow achieve something. And they're paying for this shit. All because some of these kids want to get the black experience. They want to become the next W.E.B. Du Bois, some of them. Make a change in the community. And you can't blame nobody but the administration. I'm pretty sure you guys have the money. But what are you doing with it? Same thing with Morris Brown. Remember Morris Brown? Morris Brown in Atlanta closed. It was next to Clark, Morehouse, and Spelman. Morris Brown closed. Right? Mismanagement of funds. All kind of fuckery going on over there. Right? You're just not going to see this. I think St. Paul's College also, it closed. And the reality is that this is telling of the problems that happen around the black world. It's not just Africa that got this problem. It's us too. Like, I've been in Uganda and Kenya and other countries. You know what? I would expect because of the newness, the country of Uganda has been around for a little more than 60 years. Howard University has been around since the 1870s. I would expect Howard to have it more together than Uganda. Yet you have some of these same students living in the same condition. And Uganda has a GDP of less than $40 billion. Unbelievable. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.